All right, we'll do one more little couple of songs here. First, I'm going to tell you the story about Big Frank. I'll try to make it short. This only happened 2 weeks ago. When we printed the posters for this very program that we're performing at this hour, Frank picked them up at the print shop in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and I was at the studio on James Island, and I wanted to see them, make sure that everything was spelled right and all that, because I had designed it and put it together, and I didn't want to make any mistakes. So I said, please meet me over at the Ye Old Fashioned Ice Cream Shop on Highway 17 on your way out of town. So Frank met me over there, and I was driving into the parking lot, and as I was pulling into the lot there was a hullabaloo of people, a bunch of people all gathered around and milling around and spinning around, a bunch of people. And I said, what in the heck's happening here, And then coming out of the crowd there was a big old tall fellow, about 6 foot tall and skinny. He had long hair, and he had a woman around her neck like this. And he was pulling her and dragging her across the parking lot, and she was kicking and screaming, and clearly some kind of domestic, terrible situation happening, and the people were milling around, didn't know what to do. And then out of the crowd come a mountain of a man.
This sounds like a Kenny Rogers song.
He came and had a look on his face like he was determined, like that. Anyway, and he reached through the crowd like this, and the whole thing was suddenly slow motion. It seemed like it was a movie or something, Anyway, so Frank grabs the guy on the arm like this, and he yanks his left arm like this, and the woman breaks free and scatters off. She's just a weave of a child, about like this. But anyway, so Frank, he's still determined, and he grabbed the guy by the other arm like this, and he held him like this, and he rolled him down to the ground like that. And and I rolled him, and I said, Frank, you all right? I'm good. And so Frank's on top of the guy, and from where I'm back over there, behind him over there, all I could see is buttholes and elbows, But I said, Frank, you sure? And anyway, so I pulled out of the truck, and I saw that Frank had the guy on the ground, but he kept squirming and squirming like a greased pig, like he couldn't hold him still, We didn't know how long. People had already called 911. The police were on their way, but we didn't know how long it was going to be till they got there, So I said, well, I got some duct tape in the truck, said to myself. We could tie him off like a young calf, And so I said, here, Frank, and I tossed it to him like this, and Frank had the guy down like this, and he grabbed the duct tape like this, and he stopped, and he froze, and he said, is there a leak somewhere? I had no idea what I was supposed to do with duct tape right in the middle of a fight. Did y'all know? I had no idea. Wrap it around his ankle. His hands behind his back. Wrap it around. He said, is there a leak somewhere? Oh man, he was killing me. And the police came, we all had to give statements, do all this and that and the other, and then I saw Frank, he was leaving. He said, I'm going back to St. Helen. I got to have a beer, So about 30 minutes later, I called him on the phone, and I said, Frank, I'm just now remembering the part about the duct tape. Everywhere I've gone to check in at the hotel, the lady said, is there a leak somewhere? I said, in the room you gave me? No. You want to roll the duct tape? Carroll checked in already, had it. Oh, man, I've had fun with that stuff. True story, too. And it was a mighty fine poster, I will say. And the artwork framing the poster is a piece of the silhouette work that our friend Clay over here did. Oh, yeah. My last song of this part of here it comes! Give me a hand.
Let me before Carroll closes, I just want to tell you, this is one of my children's books, and what I'm doing, if you guys want, I'll sign it for you, but actually I'll cut out your silhouette and put it in your own copy. And it's great for if the grandparents have been buying these, having their silhouettes done and give them to the grandkids, signed to the grand. So it's a wonderful thing to do. And so just putting a bug in your ear. So Carroll, take it away.
He'll be out there doing that while we're making a living over here. But we can't do a song about the Carolinas and the Low Country and the whole thing without doing this song. It's a song written by our great friend Ed Hunnicutt, and one of these days we're going to drag him down here to do this program with us. But Ed was a recording artist on MCA Records in Nashville, Tennessee. When I first heard of him, I was running a radio station in Tennessee, and we played his records. But he wrote a song called Fade to Blue. That was the one he had the most luck on. But he wrote another song that was actually recorded by Willie Nelson. And he wrote it with Mae Axton. You guys know who Mae Axton was? Mae Axton wrote Heartbreak Hotel, many other great songs. And her son, Hoyt Axton, wrote, Well, I've Never Been to Heaven.
Well, Carroll, wait a minute now. I wrote some songs for Elvis too, you didn't know?
I did.
I mean, he never recorded them or anything, but...
There'd be that. Anyway, Ed was living and dying in Tennessee, and he couldn't wait to get home, and it was dreary and rainy, and it was January and all that, and he called home, and his brother Lee was playing golf. He was 75, you know. Anyway, so he wrote this song, and some of us come to the South Carolina Low Country, and we get it in our blood, you know. Then before you know it, you got to go back somewhere else, and you wake up somewhere else far away, and you say, Oh, Jesus, I miss the smell of West Waco in the morning, you know. Little song called The Coast of Carolina. Beneath the sky of gray, I remember brighter days. How I miss the warm sunshine, like a trawler in the twilight, heading in at high tide. Sailing home is foremost on my mind. I'm going back to the coast of Carolina, where the sea meets tall pines on sandy islands. Rustling palm leaves sing while moonlight dances on the breeze. I'll ease my mind on the coast of Carolina. Sand dunes shifting with the wind, like the drifting way I've been. I was blown too far from your shore. I miss the smell of roasting oysters, hearing sweet Geechee voices, all to me like my mother ocean road. I'm going back to the coast of Carolina, where the sea meets tall pines on Bowen Island. Rustling palm leaves sing while moonlight dances on the breeze. I'll ease my mind on the coast of Carolina. I've been across the mountains, and I've sown a restless seed. In all my years of traveling, I have found a place for me. It's these islands by the sea. I'm going back to the coast of Carolina, where the sea meets tall pines out on Goat Island. Rustling palm leaves sing while moonlight dances on the breeze. I'll ease my mind on the coast of Carolina. Oh, I'll be just fine on the coast of Carolina.